What's up, you beautiful people? Welcome to another video. One of the things that hold back entrepreneurs from making progress towards their goals is the simple fact that there is just so goddamn much to do. And it's all on you, it seems like, at times, to do it all. Especially if you have not yet built out your team, you haven't really built out the systems, you don't really have a reliable machine, you have more of a fancy job working for a crazy person, aka working for yourself. Well, a lot of times we get these feelings of overwhelm. We get that and leads to the feeling of anxiety. Like, honestly, the default emotional state of most entrepreneurs is one of overwhelm. And so what I want to share with you today is 3 steps that you can take to overcome that overwhelm, to build momentum towards your goals, to cut through the anxiety, to spend more of your time feeling good, feeling crystal clear about where it is you're going and how you're going to get there so that you can enjoy the work a little bit more. So, first thing is understand that psychology follows biology. So when you're feeling stressed, when you're feeling overwhelmed, when you find yourself circling with anxiety, first thing that you need to do is not try to think your way through it. You need to get your body regulated in feeling a certain way. Because when you feel a certain way, it becomes easier to think and act in a certain way. So what we're going to do is we're going to focus on state management. There's a bunch of different activities and ideas here I'm going to throw at you. I want you to take notes of this and then work through them systematically over the next week or so to figure out how can I incorporate this into my life for those times, not just when I'm feeling overwhelmed, but when I want to get into an elevated state for the activity that I'm going to be doing. First is, as it pertains specifically to overwhelm and relax, you need to create a relaxed, safe environment. You need to realize that you're okay. Because when you're anxious, it feels your body just has this nervous energy about it, and you're in this fight or flight. And you need to calm yourself first of all and say, "This is safe. I'm okay. This is all. It's all right to feel this way, right?" And the way that we do that is by feeling what we feel, by paying attention to it, like going inside your body and paying attention. Where do you feel the anxiety? Where in your body does it manifest? Is it in your stomach? Is it the feeling of butterflies flying around? Is it tightness in your chest? Is it a feeling of weight on your shoulders? Where exactly are you feeling it? I want you to, instead of running away from the feeling, I want you to run towards it. I want you to feel it even more deeply and lean in and say, okay, I feel it in my shoulders. Because once you know where it is, now we can start to work to relax it. Okay? So what we can do is some breath work, taking deep breaths in, learning how to breathe is such an interesting thing because breathing is an autonomic activity, right? You just breathe on your own, but you can also take control of it. And your physiology follows your breath. So if you take a deep inhale through your nose, hold it for 6 seconds, and then force it out into a full exhale, you feel very differently than when you go, right? Like quick, short nasal breath is going to have a very different effect. Now, there's a time and a place for both of those. If you need to get ramped up, like I'm about to go into a fight, you go for the shallow breaths. If you are feeling like you're in fight or flight, maybe you need to take some of the calming deep breaths, right? So spend some time, study Wim Hof breath. James Nestor, I think, also did a book on breath. Go learn how to breathe. Huberman has also done a couple of interesting episodes specifically on something called the parasympathetic sigh. Go look that up. Learn how to use that very valuable tool to control your physiology. Next, if you get real crazy, if you're somebody that really experiences a lot of anxiety and overwhelm, then you can get into some vagus nerve stimulation. So there's different tools out there depending on where you are. They're very simple, non-invasive. They clip onto your ears. Some of them go around your neck, and they just stimulate your vagus nerve, which is the largest nerve that runs from your brain all the way down to your everywhere else. It runs down your spine. And just by controlling that with different frequencies and vibrations, it can induce different states of relaxation. It can also induce states of excitation, but in this instance, we want to use it to help relax, because it's very hard to feel overwhelm and anxiety when you're relaxed. The biological reaction is one of tense, right? So you can get one of those devices if you're somebody that experiences this to like an extreme degree, but otherwise, go with the breath work, go with the relaxing environment. So candles, creating low light situations so you're not like in a hyper stimulating environment, right? And then focus on just getting inside your body and feeling the feels. All right, so that's how we're gonna address our physiology. Now, a side tangent to this, real quickly, just to recognize that your sleep, your exercise, and your nutrition are gonna play a pervasive chronic role in how you feel throughout your day. So if you're sleep deprived, you're gonna be more easily excited. You're gonna feel stress more acutely, right? So getting good sleep, key to helping you ride those waves. Getting good nutrition instead of having these big spikes of sugar and then crashes, or eating these foods that cause inflammation in your body that then give you brain fog. When you eat poorly, you have less willpower, less cognitive load to be able to handle the stressful situation. Same with exercising. When you're not moving your body frequently and you're going into like more of a sedentary period where you're sitting all the time, your body loses its ability to combat the stress, right? So those are like systemic things that you should be thinking about. But that's beyond the scope of today's episode. I've gone really deep into that in previous ones, so I'd recommend just go looking up what I call the 3 levers of energy. Go learn those first. But for today, just remember, psychology follows biology. When you're having a overwhelm, anxiety, like a nervous panic attack, I guess, go inside your body and start there with your breath. Second, overwhelm typically stems from a lack of clarity. When you feel overwhelmed as an entrepreneur, it's because you have so many things on your plate, and you're being pulled in so many different directions, but you can't identify exactly what the most important thing is that you should be doing in any given moment, because everything feels pressing and urgent. Every fire feels like it needs to be put out immediately. But you need to be able to discern the difference between a dumpster fire and a kitchen fire. A dumpster fire is a fire that is in a dumpster. It's big and ugly and it smells real bad, but it's outside the house. It is not threatening the structure of the house right now. Whereas a kitchen fire, if you don't put that bad boy out, it's going to burn down the whole thing. All fires initially feel the same. Your human reaction is fire, fuck, right? I gotta go fight that thing. But the dumpster fires typically look bigger than the kitchen fires do initially. And so your instinct is to go put out the dumpster fires rather than the kitchen fires. But we got to get clear. Okay, what are the actual kitchen fires that do need to be addressed? Identify those, and then identify what is the priority that I need to attack these in. And so having a simple system like a priority management system like ICE, that stands for impact, confidence, ease. It's a simple way of looking at the items on your to-do list and saying, what are the most objectively important ones for me to work on? Get crystal clear about where you're trying to go and what needs to happen next to get there. And suddenly, all of the overwhelm that you were feeling of like, oh, I just have so much to do, I don't even know where to start. Like, that's what overwhelm is for most people. I don't even know where to start. This is how you get that. You get the roadmap to get the plan, and then you start. You don't just, like, what most people do is like, I don't know where to start. And so they just bounce between things frantically, chaotically, and nothing moves forward meaningfully. So then the third thing that you need to do after you've controlled your biology to get in the right state, you've gotten clear about where you're going and what needs to happen next, is you need to build momentum, because momentum is the cure to overwhelm, right? Overwhelm stems from a lack of clarity. Clarity leads to momentum, and momentum is the cure to overwhelm. Taking action is the solution here. It doesn't have to be big action, right? I don't love the idea of taking massive action, especially when you're feeling overwhelmed. That's like the wrong thing, because it just feels too much. It feels too much to even start. But tiny action, anything more than 0 compounds. Think about that. Everything more than 0 compounds. It doesn't have to be a large input. It could be a little input. Tiny traction can gain a ton of momentum if you just keep stacking upon it. So a couple things I suggest to you. Number 1 is create a to-don't list. Not a to-do list, a to-don't list. There's probably 3 activities at minimum in your life right now that constitute 80% of your distractions or 80% of your bad behaviors. That could be drinking alcohol after 8 o'clock. It could be eating sugars. It could be watching porn. It could be playing video games in the middle of the day. I don't know like what your particular vice is, but identify what are those 3 things that if you were to stop doing, that would be like releasing the emergency brake. And suddenly the car would just go so much faster, not even pressing any harder on the accelerator, but simply because you're no longer holding it back by doing all of these stupid things that are taking you off course. So create your to-don't list, put it on a little sticky note, put it on a note card, keep it with you in your pocket. It's more important to keep that front and center in your day than it is to keep your to-do list, in my experience. If you just keep in mind what not to do, you will naturally find your way towards the things that will move you forward. Now, once you have your to don't list, now we do actually need to figure out, okay, well, what am I going to do today? Like, so now we're going to create our to-do list. Here's how I approach this. Create your 3 to free, your 5 to thrive, your 2 to do. Okay. Your 3 to free are the 3 most important activities. The 3 things that if you got nothing else done for the day and you just did those 3 things, they would move you the most meaningfully towards your goals. Identify those 3 things, prioritize them at the start of the day when you still have the most energy, block off your calendar, and then attack those violently until they're completed. Next is you have your 5 to thrive. Your 5 to thrive are like, what are the 5 other administrative activities or other things that need to get moved forward for the business, for your life to continue to move, like to be functional? Maybe that's, I do need to do my emails. Maybe that I do have these meetings that I need to do, but try to confine it to those 5 things. So up to this point, we have our 3 to free and our 5 to thrive. So we have 8 activities. And then you are going to do your 2 to-dos. 2 to-dos is just, what are the 2 most mundane, stupid things? Like, I got to do my laundry. I got to take my dog for a walk. I got to do, like, what is the thing that's like, it is not valuable? If we were to look on the ICE scale, and again, go watch the video that I've done in the past about prioritization management, where I go deep into the ICE management system. It's a ranking system where you give things a score and then they fall into different categories of importance, and that's the order in which you should tackle them. But at the bottom of that list, there's going to be these things that are not very important at all. Those are your 2 to do. And we just put them onto our to-do list so that we have easy things to check off. And we can go, sweet, I need a moment. I need a quick win. Boom. I'm going to go do one of my to-dos. And you don't put more than that, because if you let it, your 2 to-dos will become like 20 to-dos, because there's nothing that we love more as like squishy human beings that want a sense of progress than to fill up a to-do list with a bunch of really stupid shit that doesn't matter just so we can check it off. So minimize and confine yourself just to 2 of those things. So you got your 3 to free, your 5 to thrive, your 2 to do. And that right there, in conjunction with your to don't list, is your action plan to gain momentum, to kill the overwhelm. If you do this, guys, you now have the ability, no matter how your body is feeling in the moment, no matter how overwhelmed you get, no matter how chaotic it gets, or how much anxiety you have, to always be making progress towards your goals. So take this, run with it. Let me know down in the comments below, what'd you like, what'd you learn, what'd you need to hear the most, and I will see you guys tomorrow.